Now, here is something I've been wanting to do for the longest time. This is an ILS approach in a helicopter in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Hands off, autopilot follows the radio path. Sounds simple, but it takes a bit of work to set up, and it takes a special machine. For instance, this newly released Cowan Simulation S-76, yours for US $37.99 or your local equivalent, exclusively from the MSFS Marketplace in either 2020 or 2024. But when you master this ILS approach, wow, that is quite a feeling. Join me in Norway for this bleak, wet evening flight into Stavanger. I'll talk you through how to do the whole thing. So come along and let's fly. And just look at the size of this Johan Sverdrup oil rig in the North Sea. Unbelievable, and the level of detail. Incredible stuff. And here is our trusty S-76 in its Bristow livery. It's British registered, this machine, but we're doing a run to Stavanger, Norway today. Well, welcome aboard, and I think everyone looks like they're all pretty happy back there. I think we've got 6 passengers back there, so we'll just ding the seatbelts for them and play them the takeoff tape.
We're about to lift off. Please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened. We'll be airborne shortly. Thank you for choosing Cowan Sim.
And here's what we're going to do. We're doing just one long easterly leg here, and I'll pick up the video when we get a bit closer to plan for the approach. So I've got 300 feet in for our decision height, and I'll just center my stick to get rid of that temperature there. Bit of a curiosity, that one. I think it's, there we go. It's just to do with the centering of my stick and how that temperature was getting out of control there. So yes, we've got 2,000 feet pre-selected in here. I can't pre-select the altitude yet because I'm still in SAS mode. So we'll just get ourselves off the pad first, and then we'll start dealing with all of that. All right, so we are ready to go. So get the head tracking on, get the parking brake, just double check that, good. All right, so we'll lift off backwards and try and keep the pad in our view. Aft cyclic, lifting collective. Here we go, getting light, and now pulling backwards so that I can just keep the pad in view. There is my plan. So that if anything goes wrong, I can get right back down onto the pad. That's my plan here. Alright, so that's about 250 feet now, and our temperatures and pressures are looking good. No warnings. We've got red T5 temperature right now. The helicopter is pulling as much as it's ever going to pull at this minute, so I predict that I'm just going to pitch down here, get things moving, and then it's just, there we go. It's going to just fade there, so that's good. So we're in good condition, we're proceeding, let's get the gear up. Just get a lot of these low rotor warnings, not quite sure quite why. Yeah, not quite sure what that's about. Alright, so we are aiming for a shallow climb here as we also gain speed, and I try and get attitude mode on here. We're in flight director 2, which is good, so we've got we're going to take, the autopilot's going to be taking my controls here. We are climbing, so we're going to alt pre with 2,000 feet in the window, VS thinks we're descending, so I'm going to just use my hat switch now to get that up about 800 feet a minute, and we will just get ourselves, that was a bit rough, onto heading mode first, and then we will ask for it to capture the nav as well, which it looks like it has already done. So we are looking pretty good on our autopilot situation right now. We are climbing. We are not losing too much speed. I'll just add a little bit of collective in there. We're climbing at 90 knots. 800 feet per minute. We've captured the FMS and we're proceeding nicely. So I will maybe get that rain radar on. There we go. Oh yes. That is not looking thoroughly delightful, but we are in an excellent helicopter for this kind of work. We will get our landing lights off. And we will get flying. I will see you when we're ready to prepare for this approach. Well, there we go. We have just passed 26 miles to our next waypoint on this approach. So let me just show you what we're doing here. There are actually a bunch of RNAV arrivals into Stavanger for helicopters, specific helicopter arrivals via RNAV. I'm just doing a direct into Ulsum today, just to keep this a little bit easier. So we're crossing direct into Ulsum, which is the initial approach fix for a specific helicopter approach for an ILS into runway 18. So here is that procedure. So Ulsum here, initial approach fix at 1,500 feet to get us onto Bapav there, and then to Nepmo, which is our point at which we intersect the glide scope. So we hope to intersect the localizer somewhere where my pointer is now and the glide scope at Nepmo. So we need to get some radios ready, and I just had a glance at the radios before. MSFS has already done it for me. So I would normally get the VOR into NAV2 first, 11685 and 11685. We see it's actually already done it, so we can click, but I'll just get a little bit further forwards here. We can click between 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2, okay. And then we can just dial in 11685, just using these two knobs here. And then you can see it's already been done, and we'd swap them here. So 11685 is already in, so we see that on this receiver here, which we can switch here, on number 2, we have the Zulu Oscar Lima VOR, 25 nautical miles exactly. So that's just great. We're receiving that one. That's what we want to see. And let's just get the ILS in as well, which I think it has also done for me. 1103. 1103. Let's just make sure that's in there as well. 1103. It is already in. And again, I would just change that. I would just select that one, change it on here, and swap it with that one. 1103 is already in. And are we picking that one up yet on number 1? Yes, we are. Zulu Victor, that's about 23 nautical miles there. I just need to get that course in, so I can do that over here. Just need to get, it's already in. I think it remembered my practice attempt earlier on, so it's just kept everything in. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the Cowan Sim S-76 remembers our previous settings. Something to be aware of. All right, so we have got our courses in. So how are we going to... We needed 177 in so that we would approach on the correct radial on the ILS there. So 177. So we're going to be crossing Ulsum. We want to cross that at 1,500 feet. And so how to make this 90-degree turn onto the localizer? Well, I think I'll probably make a 45-degree turn about where I'm showing you here. So maybe at about 1.5 nautical miles along this leg, I will make a 45-degree turn to the right, and that'll help with our intersection of the localizer here. So I will need to come to heading mode after I've selected the heading bug. Come to heading mode, change the navigation source to ILS1, go back to VOR approach actually, so not nav, but go to VOR approach, and arm that one so that it will hopefully capture the localizer, and then also arm the ILS for the glide scope capture as well. So that's what we're going to do there. And things will start to happen. So at about 10 nautical miles out, we'll start to descend to 1,500 feet. Alright, and there is 10 nautical miles to Ulsan. Now, I'm going to slow down first. So, very intelligently, Cowan Sim has done this so that the longitudinal trim hat switch, when I go down on that, we see that, I'm going down, 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 we see that the selected or desired indicated airspeed comes down in this window, and now we see it coming down here as well. So that's pretty fast and effective. We're now down from 140 to 120, and it held that speed perfectly, by the way. 120, great. All right, so let's get down to 1,500 here. And remember, whenever you select a new altitude in this window, you must Alt Pre in this window, Alt Pre. And then we'll take off IAS, in with the VS, and we'll head down by about, I don't know, 400 feet a minute. It's a reasonably gentle descent. And I'll just counteract the collective so that we maintain that speed of 122. So a slight decrease or lowering of the collective there as well. So if someone knows of a more intelligent or smart method to keep it so that I could have both IAS hold and vertical speed hold on at the same time, please tell me in the comments. Otherwise, I've done it like that. When I clicked VS, IAS came off. That's how that works for me. If there's a better way of doing that, please let me know. Alright, we've captured 1,500 feet, and you might have just seen me cheating there and resetting the fuel. It seems that, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Looks okay up here, but it seems that the fuel was only being taken from the left tank, and I got a bit unbalanced, so I just automatically, magically refilled it with fuel. Alright, so that's a bit of a cheat, but at least we're nice and balanced now. Right, so where was I? So I need to get IAS back on. Don't hit this button here. Don't hit standby. It's very easy to do. It looks like IAS is this one. No, it's this one up here. IAS. And we'll get that to, let's go 110. So that I don't want to be going too fast here. And remember, we're going to be doing a 45-degree turn here. So let's get about 135 into here. Or 130. That looks, I think that's okay. That's okay. So let's just review all of this. We are I'll show you on the map again. Just about 2.5 nautical miles from Ulsan. Once we're about 1.5 nautical miles into this leg, we're already at 1,500. I'm going to execute that 45-degree, or it's about 40-degree turn to the right, and then I'll be switching the nav source for the autopilot so that it'll try to engage the ILS 1. So you'll see me switch it in here. That's the plan. And we can see land. Well, we could see land. Well, this rain's something, isn't it? Luckily, we are in a helicopter suitable for these operations. Look at that. Beautiful. Stunning, actually. That's quite special. And there is Ulsan. We have made our initial approach fix. Now we turn. And so we keep an eye on this. 2.7 now. And we want to, with about 1.5 left, execute that turn to the right. So all I need to do to make that happen is hit heading. Pretty simple. Even I can do that. Even I can do that. I'm confident. 2.1, I see it goes fast. Even at 110 indicated airspeed, it goes fast. 1.8, 0.7, 0.6 and 0.5. So let's get that right turn happening now. And now we click nav, and we click nav once more. ILS 1. So we choose VOR approach. And I'll wait for that to come in before I do ILS approach as well. So we want to see that bar starting to come in very soon, which I think it will do momentarily. VNav profile, that says. I don't think that we have too many VNav features in this particular simulation. That's just the way it is. Right, so now that thinks we've moved on. Fine, go gut, it says. Only 5.7 nautical miles to run on the ILS approach, and now we see the bar coming in for our localizer. I'm also going to arm the glide scope capture. In fact, that's already coming in, so maybe I was a bit slow on that. Looks like we've overshot slightly. Maybe I could have done it slightly. Oh, it's not too bad, actually. Good job, helicopter. S-76, you have done a good job. Cannot see the runway. Okay, let's get our landing lights on. Searchlight and landing lights. And how are we going on the localizer there? The glide scopes come in, we are descending. So I'm going to lower the gear. Fantastic. Look at that. So 3.9 nautical miles to run. I'm going to quickly show you what we'll do at the airport. We have quite a long runway here. I'm going to go into decel mode here, and the helicopter is going to fly itself down the runway. It's going to be quite magical. I'm not going to take Alpha 1. I'm going to turn right at the cross runway here. So I will turn right onto runway 28, and that'll be our approach done. So I'm going to fly along the runway using decel mode. We are 3 nautical miles out at 110 knots. Everything is looking just fine. Let's play the tape. Descent, play.
We're now on final approach. Please stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and prepare for landing. We'll be on the ground in just a few moments.
We'll be on the ground in just a few moments, the tape said. I'll just ding the... Oops. There you go. Ding the lights again. There's the... I can see the runway now. Wow! Now, I didn't set the decision height. It was 200 feet. I saw that on the approach chart. Can't quite see what I'm doing there. 200 decision height. Good. Okay, there we go. So we're fine now. There's no one on the runway. I don't see any flashing lights here, so we're all good to continue our approach. Is that 400 feet now on the radar altimeter? I love having that radar altimeter here. That's great. Just great. 3 greens. We're looking good. The next button to push will be the decel button. I'll do that maybe when we get over these outer lights here. Decel, ready on that one. I'll just go now. There you go. It's going to pitch up. It's a little bit dramatic because maybe I left that a little bit late. So what's happening now is the helicopter is decelerating to 70 knots indicated airspeed. Got a little bit low there, didn't it? And it is going to follow the center line of the runway. And then it's just going to fly down the center line of the runway at 70 knots at 50 feet above ground level. And then all I need to do at a moment of my choosing is with a hotkey, I'm going to just get the head tracking back on. With a hotkey that I've already selected, I'm going to click from attitude back into SAS mode, which I'm going to do now. Whoop, bit of a bit of an interruption there in service. You heard that dip in the rotor speed there. So I'm going to lower collective. We're actually gaining height now. Is that the runway? Yes, it is. So I will. Our limit on the ground speed here is 54 knots. So all I need to do is make sure that I'm not going to tail strike it. So get the nose down. And that's pretty good. That's reasonably gentle. And we're down, people. We are down. What a fantastic experience doing an ILS approach. I think I just hit a bump in the ground. I don't know quite what happened there. What a fantastic approach doing this ILS procedure in the Cowan Sim S-76. Not an experience we have got available to us in many other helicopters. So it's really something quite special to be able to do this in a helicopter. Very grateful that this has been made for us. Something that you could definitely try for yourself when you've got a chance. It takes a little bit of practice. Honestly, I mean, the first time I tried an ILS approach, it happened first time. It was actually at a different scenario to this one. Maybe one that was a little bit easier. And then this one was a little bit tighter, and I had to do a couple of takes, and I had things that weren't quite working properly, so I had to go back and do it again. The replay, incidentally, doesn't play back at the correct speed, so the rotor kind of slows down a bit. But look, I'm just thrilled with the capacity in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 to take up a helicopter, fly in challenging conditions like this, and do a full ILS approach, following in the glide scope in, and just watching the machine work its magic for me. I think it's just wonderful. So look, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's opened your eyes to something that you might try yourself, either in this machine or another one. Whatever the case, do hope I'll catch you in another video real soon. Look forward to reading your comments on this one. In the meantime, I hope I'll see you again soon. See ya.